What's up, YouTube? We're a couple of cunts, we're in the countryside, we're talking about dubstep. Drop the bass. Download was the other weekend, and I've read and heard that Chase and Status went down surprisingly well. I think it was one of the more odd bookings that any festival has made. I mean, Leeds booked Daphne and Celeste one year. And
yeah, we all know what happened.
Well, I want to know what was going through the organiser's head at that point. But yeah, a dubstep band at a metal festival.
I wouldn't call Download a metal festival per se. It's
Well,
not like Bloodstock or Vakin. It's an alternative sort of like bit of everything festival. Download doesn't have enough metal for it to call it a metal festival.
It's rock at least.
Yeah, we'll call it a rock festival. I wouldn't go as far as call it a metal festival.
Okay, well if you're done with your fucking pedantry...
I'm sorry, I just thought I'd point that out there.
A dubstep band at a festival like that, not least with Machine Head on before them. I was reading an interview with Rob Flynn who said it was fucking weird to be going on stage after a dubstep band, probably never happen again in their career. But yeah, people were loving it apparently. It's one of those genres that crosses, I think. I think it's, you know, goths can enjoy it as much as pillhead chavs.
This is probably the episode I'm least informed on since the sports one. Sort of like, dubstep, yeah, so, I mean, my limit pretty much into electronic music is, got a bit of Daft Punk. When I first heard it, I just thought it was a shittier version of drum and bass, to be honest with you. Quite a funny thing our mate Computer Joe, who's in one of the other episodes, said the other night. A funny little analogy he gave. I don't know if you've seen it, but there's various names for them, but sort of like triangles of choice, where there's 3 things written on it. It's like you can pick 2, and like the usual one people will tell you is like a Chinese buffet or something. It's just sort of like you can have lots of selection, cheap or good quality. Like you can only pick 2 out of the 3.
Yeah, okay, I get it, yeah.
And Joe came up with it. It's just like, right, melody or dubstep. You can pick one, which made me laugh quite a lot.
It's true. I mean, I don't think that ignorance is exclusive to you. I think a lot of the kids going around saying that they're dubstep fans these days listen to Skrillex, and
he is the poster boy for it at the minute.
Skrillex is the sort of McDonald's of dubstep, but like a lot of those people who are saying they're dubstep fans these days have probably never heard a 2-step track in their life. They've probably never heard of LB and, you know, the pioneers of the genre. They've probably, you know, never heard of dub. They probably think dubstep is the one and only genre. I wonder how many of those Skrillex fans know that he used to be in a really shitty screamo metalcore band.
First to last, yeah. He got.
Sonny Moore.
I don't actually know if he plays guitar, but there was a magazine or something not so long ago. Not actually a guitar magazine, but it did a poll of 100 best guitarists, something like that, and he managed to get like voted like 91st or something like that. Something quite low down.
Skrillex?
Yeah, and it was sort of like, you do know he's not really known for using a guitar or anything like that, but just their fan base was sort of like, yeah, you know, we'll vote for him. And it's like, what the fuck, trendy hipster gimps voting about stuff they know nothing about. And like the song they're voting on was, is it like Scary Monsters and something?
Nice Sprites.
Nice Sprites. But it's just sort of like, oh yeah, you know, that's like the Smoke and the Water riff of our generation. But it's all
riff.
Yeah, it's just like, it's all keyboardy bollocks. But it's not a riff. It does make me chuckle sometimes when people vote about something they got no fucking idea on.
Well, it's like, you know, the FHM 100 Sexiest Women when Marge Simpson or Maggie Thatcher turns up.
There's always some stupid one. I remember one year it was like Mo Molam got like a certain, she wasn't in the top 100, but she got like, there was obviously some like bunch of lads who decided, oh, let's try and get her in as a joke, so they all put the stuff in.
Well, I remember it was one of the anniversaries of that thing, and they did a poster of like the 500 when they tallied up the votes from however many years, and Marge Simpson was at like 300. What? It's like, do you really consider Marge Simpson sexier than like Gillian Anderson or Bria Grant? It just, each to their own, you know. I'm not going to judge it, but freaks.
My one of my friends, Spike, who I DJ with, quite often see him in a t-shirt just says "Stop pretending you like dubstep." It's just like, I can appreciate that.
It is one of the most poser-heavy genres of music,
It did seem
I
for a while
think.
like a few people I know on Facebook have sort of mentioned in those exact words or sort of around them in certain phrases. So like, I'm sure dubstep is just some in-joke I've not been told about. And sometimes I do look at it and think, you guys actually been lobotomized or something?
I'm not the biggest dubstep fan in the world. I mean, I'm going to be honest. You saying it's a shittier version of drum and bass, to me drum and bass is the worst side of dubstep.
If I'm honest with you, I probably actually dislike drum and bass more. At least for a little bit of dubstep I've heard, they try and make a bit more of a song out of it, rather than just getting Pro Tools and just putting drums to as fast as possible, and then programming like a really crude bass line on top of it.
I mean, a lot of the dubstep that I dislike is too into that drum and bass. Sort of like Magnetic Man and Nero and bands like that are far too into the drum and bass thing. There's too much of that ridiculous processed drums and female vocals all vocoded to shit, and occasionally they'll drop the wobble bass, but it's just not enough to pick it up. I prefer a band like SBTRKT, who've actually got a bit of intelligence to their music. They're sort of almost Aphex Twinny in what they do.
Now I just don't want to check them out. I haven't seen Aphex Twin videos, so like anything which is like, this is a bit like Aphex Twin, like, no, not going anywhere near that, sorry.
It's fucking amazing though.
Yeah,
one of the best sort of EBM, IDM bands that are around.
Yeah, but their videos, man, come
Well,
on,
yeah, they're
they
twisted.
scar you for life.
I have a great memory of, we mentioned the band Scumface some episodes back. Well, we were having a gig down here and they were staying at my house. It was about 2 in the morning. I was sat up with those two and my drummer Fad, the dreadlock testicle. We were sat down there and the video for Window Licker came on, and Mike, the singer and bassist from Scumface, just turned around and said, "Is it just me, or does this video make you question your sexuality?" I was just like, no. Because, yeah, the fuck? He's like, oh, but there's all these women with really hot bodies. Oh, yeah, but they've got Richard D. James' face. And if that doesn't put you off, then you really need to ask some questions about yourself.
That's pretty grim.
Very
on a lot
grim
of,
dark.
I'm not even sure where to go from that.
But yeah, then I like some of the Chase and Status I've heard. I like a couple of Skrillex tracks. The Ben Foster remix of Foster the People's Pumped Up Kicks. Pretty bitching remix. There's a great video on YouTube, you've probably seen it, of this like black guy dancing to that song. It's pretty impressive.
There's a good video, I don't know if I mentioned to you before or whether you saw it, I put a video up a while back, Dubstep guitar. This really good guitarist, he's doing kind of a Mickey take of dubstep. There's all these like dubstep riffs he's programmed, he's pretending to play them on guitar, and it's getting stupider and stupider. And then at the end of it, he goes, and for this final riff, we need to learn how to do is phase in and out of existence. So you know when they drop a really wobbly bass, what he does is he pretends to play a chord, and then he appears to disappear on screen and phase in and out with a really wobbly bass. It's really funny.
Even if you don't like dubstep, you should check out the band Pin Panel, who've done a totally live cover of Scary Monsters and Nice Sprites by Skrillex.
That did impress me, actually.
It's like a full band, guitar, bass, keyboards and everything, making all the sounds that Skrillex programs, but with live instruments. And like I say, even if you don't like dubstep, you've got to appreciate that takes a hell of a lot of skill. These days, there is a dubstep remix of literally everything. I did a YouTube search not long ago, and there's about 26 dubstep remixes of Charlie Sheen.
Most of them are probably done by Charlie Sheen himself.
Yeah. But there are some great dubstep memes, like around Valentine's Day someone drew a picture of Deadmau5 and Skrillex, and was like, will you be my Valentine because I wub you? Then obviously there's the thing like whenever Skrillex drops a bass he completely wigs out, so there's like a gif of him standing there with his keyboard, a little cartoon bee flies in there, when it gets to his head he starts wigging out.
Nice.
It's flying around, and then you've probably seen the thing where it's like Nick Cage with an eagle for his hair. It's like, my hair is a bird, your argument is invalid. Well, there's one of Skrillex just sitting in a giant Reebok that just says Skrillex in a big ass shoe. Your argument is invalid. And what can you say to that, really? We've been a couple of cunts in the countryside. If you enjoyed this episode, like, favourite, subscribe, share. Check us out on Twitter, Facebook. If you didn't enjoy this episode, you should do a dubstep remix of it. That would obviously improve it tenfold. Feel free to suggest a topic for us to talk about in a future episode. We will see you next time.
I've got an idea for you. Rather than having Guitar Hero, let's have a Dubstep Hero game. Fuck, you'd only need one button. Wob, 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 wob.